Over the last few days, Roanoke Fire-EMS has seen an increase in cooking fires. That is because a lot of people are at home, cooking at their homes, and leave their cooking unattended. So we want to make sure that all residents are prepared to prevent fires in their home, or if they do have a fire, have the tools necessary to extinguish that fire before we need to be called. However, if we do need to be called, make sure you do it sooner rather than later. So some of the steps that you can take to prevent fires in your home is making sure that you're staying around your cooking, making sure that you're always checking on it. We do this because fires can get out of hand quickly. So in order to prevent it, if you're staying around your cooking, you're making sure that it doesn't get out of hand or a fire doesn't start. So you can do this if you're frying, you want to make sure you're always near the pan. Now if you're baking, you want to make sure that you have a timer set or you're carrying a utensil with you to remind you that you have something in the oven. So some other ways to prevent fires from happening around the kitchen is making sure that you have 3 feet of distance around your stove or any hot surfaces where any flammable materials can be placed. Make sure it's 3 feet away from those hot surfaces so you don't start a fire within your home. You also want to make sure that if you have a pot or a pan on the stovetop that you turn that handle in, so where if it gets hit, it doesn't spill or it doesn't burn you. It's a very common thing. We see it in the kitchen where someone can hit it and it actually causes very severe burns. So those are some other tips to preventing injury and fire prevention within your home. Never leave the home while you're cooking. Unfortunately, it happens a lot where some people will think that they can go out to the store while they're cooking something, but that's oftentimes when a fire will start. So we want to make sure that you are staying near your pot, staying near your oven when you do have things in the oven or on the stove while you're cooking. So we always say if you have a grease fire on the stove to never put water on it. That's something we've ingrained in everyone, and we also want to remind you that you never put water on a grease fire. You can do other things like have a lid nearby, put a lid over the pot or pan, and turn the heat off. Or you can have things like baking soda or salt to dump on the fire and it extinguishes the flames. We don't want to use things like a fire extinguisher because a fire extinguisher's force can actually spread the grease around the kitchen and it could cause the fire to get bigger. When you have a fire that is not caused by grease, you can use a lid to go on the pot to suffocate the fire, and also make sure you turn off that heat source. If you have a fire in your oven, make sure you keep the oven door closed and turn off the heat source. Same thing with your microwave. Keep the microwave closed and turn off that heat source. But it's always good to have things around. If you don't notice that you have a fire in your home, making sure that you have working smoke alarms in your home to notify you as well. We know the holidays are coming up and that's the favorite time to cook around your home. So when you're cooking this holiday season, make sure that you have those things in place to prevent fires from starting, but also if a fire does start, you have the tools around you to put it out swiftly. If you ever feel like you can't handle something as far as a fire, if it gets bigger, don't hesitate to call 911 so we can get there and extinguish it fast.